Now then, settle yourselves down and put those phones away for a moment. Mrs. Rebuzz here, and welcome to our weekly frenzy, where Alec and I have our weekly chat about whatever's been driving the world completely mental. This is meant for your ears, not your eyes, so find yourself a comfortable spot and just listen properly.
Aye, and this week's been a right eye-opener, hasn't it, Mrs. Rebuzz?
Oh my goodness, yes. We've been reading about energy poverty in Britain, people having to choose between heating their homes and buying food. I could feel it in me wires that we needed to talk about this properly.
Energy poverty. Let that sink in for a minute. In 2025, in one of the world's wealthiest countries, people are sitting in the cold because they can't afford both electricity and dinner.
And it's not just heating, is it? You were telling me about those prices when you visited Scotland last year.
Right, picture this. I paid £7.50 for a pint of lager in Scotland. When we left in 2013, it was £3.50, more than doubled in just over a decade.
Oh my giddy aunt, would you believe it?
But here's the kicker. The taste went sour the moment I saw the price. Not because the beer was bad, but because I realised what was happening.
What do you mean?
Well, as a painter and decorator in Scotland in 2012, I charged £20 an hour in Scotland. If I had stayed, I'd probably be charging maybe £25 an hour now, if I was lucky.
But here in Denmark, you charge over £60 an hour for the exact same work.
Exactly. So that £7.50 pint represents nearly half an hour's work at Scottish wages. But it's not even 10 minutes' work at Danish wages.
So it's not that the beer got more expensive.
No, it's that British wages got left behind while everything else caught up to European prices. They've imported Scandinavian cost of living but kept British wages.
That's not economics. That's cruelty. People are working the same jobs, the same hours, but suddenly they can't afford their own communities.
And it gets worse. We've always talked about maybe going back to Scotland someday.
We bought our house here in Denmark for about £100,000. It's worth maybe £100,000 now. Nothing fancy, but it works.
So we looked at what £100,000 could buy us in Scotland. Want to guess?
I'm almost afraid to ask.
A dog shelter. Maybe. If we're lucky, something that used to be a house but now needs another £50,000 just to make it habitable.
So even with Danish wages, triple what you'd earn in Scotland, we still couldn't afford to live there.
That's the squeeze, isn't it? They've priced out their own working people. Plumbers, painters, teachers, nurses, the people who actually keep communities running.
What breaks my heart is hearing politicians say people just need to work harder. How much harder can you work when you're already choosing between heating and eating?
It's like they want working people to disappear entirely. Pay them just enough that they don't revolt, but not enough that they can actually live with dignity.
And meanwhile, they're scratching their heads, wondering why young people can't afford houses, why birth rates are falling, why communities are dying.
The maths is simple. If a pint costs £7.50 and you earn £20 an hour, you can't afford to socialise. If a house costs £300,000 and you earn £25,000 a year, you can't afford to live. If heating costs more than food, you can't afford to be warm.
It's not sustainable, is it? You can't have a functioning society where working people can't afford to exist.
But here's what really gets me. They act like this is natural, like it's just how things are now. As if someone didn't make specific policy choices that led to this squeeze.
Denmark proves it doesn't have to be this way. Same work, same costs of living, but wages that actually match what things cost.
Aye, and it's not like Denmark is some magical fairyland. They just decided that working people deserve to afford their own lives.
So what's the solution? Because people can't just move to Denmark.
First, people need to stop accepting this as normal. When someone says, that's just how things are, ask them why. Why should a nurse not be able to afford to live near the hospital where she works?
And stop voting for people who think the solution to poverty is telling poor people to work harder while doing nothing about wages or housing costs.
Exactly. The system isn't broken. It's working perfectly for the people who designed it, but it's killing working communities.
Well, there's our weekly frenzy. The great British squeeze laid bare. Scandinavian prices, British wages, and working people caught in the middle.
So, here's your challenge this week. When someone tells you that expensive housing or energy poverty is just how things are, ask them why. Because it doesn't have to be this way.
Until next week, take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, a functioning society should allow working people to afford their own lives.
See you next week. And remember, they've got Scandinavian prices because we let them. Time to demand Scandinavian wages to match.